In as we head through Provence, where we go through these spectacular vineyards. I know some of your favourite wines in the world come from this part of France, and you've also got all of this magnificent Roman architecture still standing, still incredibly well preserved.
So true. This area has multitudinous wine producers, many of whom are just one-man operations, and quite frankly, you need to go and seek them out. If ever you just see a cardboard sign, usually with some white emulsion painted on it to give it a little bit of hardiness in the weather, it usually just says vin, V-I-N with an arrow, and something like 375 metres, something like that. So you get to this little turn, and then you go down a dirt road, bouncing as you do with your saloon car, which you're using to tear around France, and pull up to what is usually quite a crumbling but quite nice gentilhommery, sort of a smallish manor. And quite frankly, there'll usually be dogs, so hold your ground, look friendly, press the buzzer and wait. And sometimes it can take a while, but Henri will come off the fields, and quite often you just have the most spectacular experience. They'll take you into a big storeroom where the tanks and barrels and bottles are. In fact, usually doing their own bottling, labelling, the whole lot. And they'll offer you a taste, and quite frankly, it will blow your mind. They usually hold back their special bottles for the occasional visitor. And usually they do, in fact, supply one or two special restaurants around the place. I found a guy way off the beaten track, and his was a very small restaurant in London, and it was a top secret. He wouldn't tell me which one it was, because the restaurant didn't want anyone to find out, and not least because they didn't want to find out, I guess, how little they were paying for what was a spectacular wine. It's Benut just anyway, just bought 6 bottles, stuck them in the case, and then took them home on Eurostar. Something which I understand is difficult to do now. Some rules have changed as to how many bottles you can put in your case, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway. So yes, you can find the spectacular, but and sometimes unexpectedly so. And if you want the most even wine of all, then the Rhone area is just spectacular. Even when it's bad, Côte de Rhone is still good. That's the way. Maybe I'll get a T-shirt printed. You know I'm a fan, John. I know you are too.
Yeah, it's my favourite wine. It's my go-to wine. I was brought up on it. It's interesting, your little note there about 6 bottles of wine.
Some people are brought up in wine and milk.
No. I mean, I was brought whenever I came to France on holiday with my parents. My dad would always order either the Vin de Table or he would go for Côte de Rhone. And I was not one of these forward-thinking families who I didn't get a glass of red wine with water in it. I had Orangina, which I used to love. But Carlton's tale there of taking 6 bottles of wine back on the Eurostar reminds me of a few years ago on the tour.